We've gotten that. So what we do now is we take an index card, okay, and we're gonna index of cards or a piece of cardboard that's clean, and then you slide it back and forth, okay, up and down. And what that does is it helps clean the surface of the point, gets rid of the grit, gets rid of the moisture, and it also gets rid of some of the excess carbon that's just sitting there because you've moistened it. You go up and down, and then you go back and forth, okay. And I started off here, and you can see there's some carbon. As I work my way here, it's nice and clean. So you see the carbon worked it clean. So I'm looking at the points, and they look pretty clean. We'll go to the second set of points, okay? Again, we're gonna moisten. Okay, we're gonna open them up, okay? We're gonna slide it back and forth, just like we were doing before. Sometimes you have to use two hands. Going back and forth, up and down. Okay, there's a little bit of carbon still, so I'm going to go ahead and do it a little bit more. And if you notice, I bent this, piece of sandpaper where you have both sides. You can clean both sides. Again, I'm going to take my business card here. As you can see, still a little bit of carbon on there. Go ahead, clean it off, try to take as much as the moisture and the grit and the carbon off. Okay, and we're done. And you want those points to be nice and shiny and clean, okay? So next thing we're going to look at is, remember our coil tested good after we isolated it, and we went ahead and we test the continuity of the wire here going to the end of the boot, and I had to shove the pointer of the analog meter to check continuity in there quite a bit in order to get to some fresh copper. The copper on the very end is probably corroded or oxidized, and so what we do is we'll flip it over, okay, and we're going to get to this little bracket here that holds the wires in place. There's also another bracket back here which has the armature plate throttle linkage arm here, and that's over here. That little piece also holds the wire going to the bottom coil here in the back. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to loosen this, okay. We're going to try to loosen up just enough so we don't take it off, but we'll just loosen it up. I have to take all of it off. Loosen it up where we can just slide it back. Okay. Would have probably been just easier just to slide it back, I guess. Okay, so anyway, so remember this wire goes to the top coil here. You see the cam that goes to the armature plate, okay? And so we're going to pull this back just like this, okay? And I've already pre-cut the wire earlier. But normally what you would do is you would just take a set of wire cutters and you would clip it off just like this, about 1/4 to 1/2 inch, until you can see some nice fresh copper on the end right here. You just clip it until you see nice fresh copper with a set of wire cutters. So what you do is you go ahead and we're going to return that to the back here. We're just going to slide it in, okay, to that hole going to the bottom coil. And so we're going to take this and we're just going to put this on top just like this. Kind of hold it in place so it doesn't slip out, okay? And I'm just going to slightly put a little tension there, not a lot. All right, and so what I'm going to do, since it's sticking out here and I've already cut it, I'm going to place this and this right here, this little boot here protects the opening of the coil where the little spike goes, okay? And so you can push this in a little bit to get some more, okay? Just push it in a little bit to get some more. And what you want to do is you want to get the coil, the little spike here, you want to get that in there just like that. Now this little spike in here doesn't have any little ridges. So usually when they have the little ridges, you can twist like a screw-like action. You can twist. This one you just push in just like this, okay, and it closes, and you're pushing up against it and you're pushing it all the way to the end, okay, and then once you get it, you can slightly pull it back, okay, and push it back just like this. So before we button this thing down, let's test the coil, okay? Let's make sure we have good continuity from that, that spike to the end there. So if we have fresh copper that we're touching, we should get a good reading. Okay, so remember, we're going to switch our analog meter to 1000, which is like times 1. Okay, and so I have the very end of the top wire here. Okay, I'm going to wedge it in between the rubber and the metal. Okay, and then here I have the ground wire. All right. See if I can put it where you can see it. Okay, where the ground wire is at. So I'm touching it, and great. I'm getting a reading of about 5. Okay, just as before. Great. So we have good continuity. Alrighty. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and turn this over, just like this. Okay. Well, actually what I'd like to do is straighten this up here, okay, and I'm going to take the 2 screws that normally hold this down, okay. So remember, this little wire right here goes down to the end of the the little wire that comes from the coil that grounds it, goes to the end. Okay, I'm going to put that here. Okay, and this one we're going to place back here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust it slightly so I can just at least start getting it secure a little bit. Okay. Apparently I'm having a little trouble with that one. And as you notice, everything takes a lot longer and you fumble more when you're filming things on camera. Finally, got one of them, and the other one we're going to do the same thing as well. We're just going to adjust slightly, just so we can get it screwed in so it's held in place. And then, in just a little bit, we're going to line up the coils and get everything straight. We're not going to tighten these down completely. We're not going to tighten this down completely because what we don't want is we're going to set the edges of the coil heels in just a little bit. What I want to do is I want to turn it around now, and I want to make sure that the wires aren't split or cut or anything like that. And I'm going to adjust it down just like this, and I'm going to tighten this little tab here.